My name is Umberto Bellardi Ricci. I'm an architect and designer based in New York City. I work in the materials of the city, which range from stone to concrete to steel, industrial elements, from I-beams to folded sheet metal. I usually try to resolve the form of the piece and the proportion, and it's just later that the functional part of the object comes in. So I start with a sculptural quality of, say, the curve and the fold and the material, and later on the scale, proportion adapts to if it needs to be a mirror, a screen or a lamp. I think the way I use materials is often trying to use them in a different way, or juxtaposing maybe industrial materials with more precious materials, curves with linear elements, and ready-mades with very sort of designed and developed pieces. The movement and rhythm is a very central part to my work. Some of my work was very sharp and folded. It only had 2 or 3 very simple folds, but they had to be very precise. And lately I've been rolling more, which is a very different application of force onto a metal and a very different rhythm and curvature, and it's very different having a curved wall than having an angular wall, than having something that folds on you, than something that rolls around you or away from you. I usually start making my pieces with the actual materials or mock-ups in the kind of type of material that I will try to work in. So the sketching already happens three-dimensionally on an object level. I like to work fast and often also very crude. And then it's a series of iterations of material experimentations, which material lends itself best to the form. I've been working a lot on this, what I call this the pasta roller, which is essentially a manual metal rolling machine, which can also roll pipe, but mainly for sheet metal. And it's a very playful process, and I think that's my way of sketching, is also just making three-dimensional models. One can bring the city into an interior at scale. So almost these fragments have no scale. You could imagine them as maquettes for spatial interventions, and it almost becomes a kind of architectural playground a little bit of, and the interior becomes the only space that the architecture can kind of really inhabit. In the arts, there's a kind of negative connotation of the sculptural piece or an abstract piece being functional, but I personally don't have a problem with that something can have also a functional aspect rather than just purely formal, decorative.